Welcome everyone, I am so thrilled to have you here for this explainer. Today, we're breaking down a super practical, absolutely essential guide to making your early stage vibe-coded MVPs completely bulletproof. And you know the best part? We're going to learn how to do this without needing to hire some senior security engineer to audit your codebase line by line. If you're a non-technical founder, or honestly, just a builder who wants to move fast without leaving the front door wide open, you are in the exact right place. Let's get right into it.
So, we really need to start by addressing the massive elephant in the room. Everyone keeps saying that fast-moving, vibe-coded projects just aren't secure. I mean, it's almost a running joke in the builder community at this point. And yeah, we know they can be kind of fragile. But the truly frustrating part, nobody actually sits down and tells you exactly what to do about it. Well, until now. We're going to look at the practical, real-world steps to secure that rapid build of yours.
Our guiding philosophy for this entire explainer is incredibly simple. Ask yourself, will this cover 80% of the attack surface that gets most early-stage apps compromised? And the answer here is yes. This isn't about some unattainable, perfect security setup. When you're just out there testing an idea with an MVP, you don't need a military-grade bunker. You really don't, but you absolutely do need basic locks on your doors. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our layers of defense blueprint, showing how we'll build a fortress around your MVP from the outside in. We've got 1. The MVP security reality. 2. Guarding the front door. 3. Never trust user data. 4. Securing your infrastructure. 5. Monitoring in business logic. And finally, 6. The honest truth.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the MVP security reality. Let's set the stage here. This guide we're drawing from is designed specifically for non-technical founders. Look, the reality of MVP security is that you aren't usually fighting off a team of elite hackers targeting you specifically, like it's some Hollywood movie. What you are actually fighting against are opportunistic, automated scanners. These things constantly crawl the internet just looking for easy wins and known vulnerabilities in brand new builds. Our goal? We just need to take you off that easy target list entirely.
Moving right along to Section 2. Guarding the front door. Because honestly, if the front door is weak, absolutely nothing else inside your app actually matters.
Let's walk through this chronological defense. First up, authentication, letting them in. Rule number 1, never ever roll your own auth. Just don't do it. Use a proven library like Clerk, Auth.js, Supabase, or Firebase. They handle all those weird edge cases you haven't even thought of yet, plus things like multi-factor authentication and brute force limits. Second, session management, how long they stay. Set those idle sessions to expire in 15 to 30 minutes. Finally, authorization, what they can actually do once they're inside. You've got to implement role-based access control, or RBAC, to clearly define who is an admin, a standard user, or just a guest.
Now, you have to manage those sessions securely. Storing sensitive data in local storage, it's literally like hiding your house key under a clear glass doormat. It is accessible to any JavaScript running on the page, which makes it highly, highly vulnerable. Contrast that with the right way. Use cookies with HTTP only and secure flags. This completely stops JavaScript from accessing your session cookies and ensures they're only sent over encrypted connections. Oh, and a quick pro tip, always regenerate session tokens right after a user logs in. That's going to prevent what's known as session fixation attacks.
Our next major hurdle is authorization failures. Listen, hiding a button in your user interface is not security. It's just an illusion. A smart user can bypass the UI entirely. You absolutely must have server-side verification, where the API itself enforces access. And this brilliantly illustrates a massive vulnerability called IDOR, or Insecure Direct Object Reference. Think about it like this. If a URL is /API/invoice/1234, your server must verify that the logged-in user actually owns invoice 1234. You can't just blindly trust the ID they sent in the request.
Which brings us to our next layer, Section 3, never trust user data. Let's talk about protecting the payload.
We really need to internalize a scary fact about input validation and injection. This is, without a doubt, one of the most exploited vulnerabilities in existence. Every single piece of data that comes from a user, you need to treat it as a potential attack vector against your app.
So how do we actually fix it? Let's do some rapid-fire tips. First, validate everything on the back end. Type, length, format. Never assume the front end took care of it. Second, sanitize inputs to stop cross-site scripting, or XSS, which is where malicious code gets injected right into your pages. Third, use parameterized queries or an ORM. Never, ever concatenate raw user input into SQL queries. That is exactly how devastating SQL injections happen.
And finally, just be strict. Reject unexpected data formats entirely. If it asks for an email and it doesn't look like an email, reject it. Hand in hand with data validation is cryptography. And honestly, the basics here are pretty straightforward. Always use HTTPS, it's completely non-negotiable these days, and services like Vercel, Netlify, or Cloudflare handle it automatically for you. Never store plain text passwords. Use algorithms like bcrypt or Argon2 to hash and salt them. Make sure to store your API keys and database strings in .env files, and please add that file to your .gitignore immediately. And if you do accidentally push a secret to GitHub, treat it as fully compromised and rotate those exposed keys instantly.
All right, moving into layer 4, securing your infrastructure. Time to look at the structural foundation of your app. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how incredibly fast you can patch massive infrastructure holes. Look at these 5-minute fixes. For misconfigured servers, you can literally add security headers with a single line of code using Helmet.js. Hide your verbose error messages in production and change those default admin credentials. For your supply chain, just run npm audit, use tools like Snyk or Dependabot, and only install the packages you actually need. And hey, don't think you're too small for a DOS attack. Even tiny MVPs get targeted. You can neutralize volumetric attacks quickly by using express rate limit on your auth routes, throwing a Cloudflare CDN in front of your app, and adding a simple CAPTCHA to public forms.
Moving to our final inner layer of defense, Section 5, Monitoring and Business Logic. Let's set up the watchtowers. The thing is, security isn't just about prevention. It's also about detection. You have to know when something goes wrong. And equally important, you have to protect how your app is supposed to work, because business logic vulnerabilities are often the hardest part to automate. For monitoring, you need to log all authentication events, like failed logins or new devices, with timestamps and IPs. Set up alerts for unusual API spikes. And the really great news here is that logging services like Sentry or Datadog have awesome free tiers and take minutes to set up. When it comes to business logic, validate your workflow server side. If a user has to finish step 1 before step 2, enforce that on the back end. And if you handle payments, this is absolutely crucial. Never trust the price sent from the client UI. Always calculate the final price on your own server. Otherwise, malicious users can essentially just set their own price tags. No way we want that. Finally, Section 6, the honest truth. Let's wrap this up with a little reality check. So the crucial point is this: implementing these steps won't make your app 100% impenetrable. A highly skilled, dedicated attacker with unlimited time, yeah, they'll probably find something. But the honest truth is that most attacks are automated scanners just looking for low-hanging fruit. By applying this 80-20 rule, you completely remove yourself from the easy target category entirely. For an MVP that you're just validating with real users, this is more than enough to give you peace of mind. Which leaves us with this final mantra: ship it, secure it, iterate. Don't let the fear of some perfect security setup stop you from launching, but, don't be reckless either. Put these foundational layers of defense in place today. So I have to ask, armed with this blueprint, what vibe-coded project are you going to confidently build and secure next?